Okay, there's some good news and bad news. The bad news is that the Packers won, which is really never good. It's a bad thing for America anytime the Packers win. But the good news is their win over Seattle puts the Minnesota Vikings into the playoffs. We are in officially. Um, Kind of a weird feeling to clinch in this way. Um, it's happened before, but you know, um, it was going to happen eventually. When it didn't happen the other night with the Rams 49ers game, I didn't want it to happen this way. I wanted to just, let's just have you know, the Packers take the L tonight, and then tomorrow night we just handle it, handle our business against the Bears, and we clinch that way. But that didn't work out that way. But it's not like a negative thing. It's hey, we're in. We're in the playoffs, man. I didn't think we were gonna do it this year. I did not. This is one of the maybe that's the good luck charm. Don't pick them to go to the playoffs. I picked the Vikings to go to the playoffs damn near every season, and I'm right maybe half the time. This year, I really did not think they were going to do it, and I'm not alone in that. Um, you know, it's why Kevin O'Connell is the coach of the year. I don't want to hear any of this crap about Dan Campbell being the coach of the year. You know, Dan Campbell today alone proved why he's not the coach of the year. But um, you know, this was not supposed to be a playoff season. And there's always teams that are that make the playoffs that are not predicted to make the playoffs. But this was, you know, this has been such a fun surprise season. Like it did. Who knew that we were going to be sitting here on December 15th? You know, not even having played our Week 15 game, and we've already clinched a playoff spot. Like I thought the best case scenario was it'd be we'd be sweating it out in Week 18 to maybe catch a wild card or something. But um, we're in, man, and this team is ascending, um, and overall this was a very good day for the Vikings because finally, finally the Lions lost a game. They were handled pretty well by Buffalo. It ended up being like a 6 point game at the end. Um, but the Bills were ahead the whole game. Um, just lit up that Lions defense that got more injuries. That you know obviously the Bills defense did give up a lot of points, but you know, and Dan Campbell made a couple of just unbelievably stupid decisions that won't get talked about because the media just is in love with Dan Campbell and they won't criticize him. Um, but so that means not only are we in the playoffs, we can tie first with the win tomorrow night. Now we would still technically not be in first because we lost by 2 whole points back in October to the Lions, but um, we didn't have TJ playing yet, and frankly, I don't think we've kind of gelled yet. I think that I know we had a couple big wins, before that, but you know, I think the Lions have peaked. I don't think we've peaked yet. I think we're ascending. They're not necessarily descending, but they're kind of they're kind of like leveling off a little bit. And for whatever it's worth, I mean, when a defense is as bad as Detroit's defense is, that a team like that does not win the Super Bowl. Um, to be perfectly honest, probably Philadelphia is the best team in the NFC right now. Um, but as of now, as of this moment now, not only are we in the playoffs, but we control our own destiny, not just for the NFC North title, but for the number one seed in the NFC. Um, Now we have to win out to get that, um, and that's not easy because I think tomorrow night's gonna be fairly easy. The game in Seattle next week looks a lot easier. One, Seattle was absolutely terrible tonight. They absolutely terrible performance, and they lost Geno Smith. I don't know if he's going to be playing next week or not, but Sam Howell was their backup. He was playing, I think, last year for Washington. He was absolutely terrible. If he's the guy next week, I mean, I know going into Seattle has been kind of a curse on us for years, but that was a Russell Wilson thing. I don't think it's the same thing now. I think if this Howell guy is the quarterback next week, we're going to go in there and win by 3 touchdowns. I mean, it's going to be a rout, and then it would be home to the Packers, who look. To be fair, Green Bay has looked very, very good most of the way this season. I mean, I picked the Packers to win the division at the start of the year. You know, they've lost 4 games. Lost once to us. They lost to Philly and twice to Detroit. So I mean, their strength of losses is higher than anybody's. Um, so to be perfectly fair, Green Bay is looking very good. Um, they'll probably be clinched for the playoffs. I'm guessing they could probably clinch next week. They probably got some sort of scenario to clinch next week. I don't even know who they play next week. So that's not going to be an easy game. Them coming in here, you know, they possibly might even still be alive for the division at that point. So that'll be a tough game. And then obviously week 18, going up to Detroit, which could be for everything. I mean, that could be for the division. That could be for the 1 seed. That could be the flex game for Sunday Night Football to decide it all. No pressure, Jesus. Because then it'd be you're either the 1 seed, maybe you're the 2 seed. Although supposedly the way the tiebreakers will work out, if we win out and Philly wins out, we would get the tiebreaker over Philadelphia. I think it's for common opponents. Ironically, I think it's because we beat Atlanta and they didn't. that game way back in, I think, September, when Kirk led that late comeback drive. But you know, otherwise it's probably the 5 seed, and that's a little more up in the air now about who we might end up playing. Because I think right now, because now Seattle lost, that knocks them out of first. Rams are in first now, and Tampa Bay, surprisingly, I thought the Chargers were going to win that game. Tampa went in there and killed them. It was like 40-17. Tampa's hot. It's not looking good for the Falcons to get that one. I think they needed Tampa to lose that one today, because Tampa finishing schedule is pretty easy. Atlanta's, they gotta play Washington still, I think, next week or maybe the week after, and and they're a game behind. So it's looking like it would either be, and obviously the Rams are hot, so it looks like it would either be Tampa Bay or the Rams, which are probably the 2 ones you wouldn't want to play. I mean, I'll give us a pretty good chance to go into LA and win if it comes to that. I think we can do that. Tampa Bay would be tough, but I think they can do it either way, and maybe they won't have to. I think this team can win out. I think they can win out. I don't, it's probably not likely. I mean, we've won 6 in a row, so are we going to take this to 10 in a row? That'd be a lot to ask, but I think it's possible. I absolutely think it's possible that they can, and it's not even impossible that the Lions could screw up and lose one of these next couple games. They got to go to Chicago, which, I mean, they'll probably win that, but they struggled with the Bears the last time. Of course, so did we. And then they got to go at San Francisco, and who knows what San Francisco is going to be like at that point. San Francisco might be eliminated by that point. I mean, they're just hanging on for dear life at this point. I think they're 2 back in the division. Yeah. It's all in front of it. I mean, who would have dreamed? Like, even there's a lot of revisionist history going on. People are like, oh, how could you doubt the Vikings? Of course they were going to do this. The number of people who thought the Vikings were going to be even a playoff team, like a low-level playoff team this year, was very small, and it's okay. Like, you don't need to dunk on people. Don't need to dunk on fans who didn't think we're gonna do it this year. I mean, I am the purple Kool-Aid drinkingest person there is, and I didn't think this was gonna be much of a season. Um, but now here we are, with 3 weeks plus Monday night game to go, and we control our destiny for the 1 seed. And frankly, if we get the 1 seed, you look ahead like that. I mean, just to put it out there, we would only need to win 2 games. First one would be, the easiest. We would end up probably with like a Detroit or Philly coming in here. Not saying it would be easy at all. Like this isn't like if we're talking about this, we would probably have to push it to a 10-game win streak in season, then win 2 more. So that's 12 to get to the Super Bowl, and then to win that's 13 in a row. Like, I'm not saying it's going to happen. The odds are small, but here we are. Like I didn't think this was going to be a playoff season at all. I thought it was a very minor chance, and here we are with a few weeks to go, and again, we got to win all our games to do it, but we have the chance to maybe go get the 1 seed, win the North. I mean, it would, the season. I'm still, we got to find out where it ends up for where it kind of ranks in like all-time Viking seasons. Um, obviously like the Super Bowl seasons, I wasn't around for those, but and like like 98's on its own level, and 20 in like 09, 2017, where's this season going to end up? Is this going to be best of all of them? I don't know. That will be determined in January, but I really think this team is ascending. They got to have health. I mean, we could still have like major injuries. I mean, look what's happening with Detroit. They lost a couple more defensive starters today. They're getting just crushed with injuries. I'm not feeling sorry for them. I mean, their guys go out and intentionally try to hurt players on the other team. They did it again today. They took a couple cheap shots at Josh Allen. That's like, I don't have any sympathy for those assholes. I mean, the reason we didn't have T.J. Hawkinson in our first meeting was because they took a dirty shot at him late last year. But I think it's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy, but I think this team has the makeup to do it. And for now, let's just enjoy the fact that we're in the playoffs now. Don't go screw up and lose to the Bears. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think this team is incredibly well coached. I think they are very, very they have a lot of great chemistry. They're really playing together very well, and I think they're ascending. I think they are getting better, and if they can, who knows, that maybe they've got another level or two that they can get to. And yeah, I think this is a team that's got a shot to really go somewhere. And even if they don't make it to the Super Bowl, maybe they just win. Maybe they make a little bit of a playoff run. I mean, that'd be cool too. Like we haven't won a playoff game since the Minneapolis Miracle. Or no, what am I thinking? Of course we've won it since the Minneapolis Miracle. The Kirk game. How am I forgetting the Kirk game? But I mean, we haven't won 2 playoff games in a season since 1987. The 1987 run. I mean, and that was the one where we had to go on the road. Maybe that's we control our own destiny, but maybe our destiny is to go on the road. But I think we can do it. Why not, man? This has already been a season that has completely defied any expectation, and I think they can do it. So, anyway, Vikings in the playoffs. Second time in 3 years under KOC. And I certainly think regular playoff appearances can be a thing, going forward. I think, that's one of the reasons that um, the Vikings haven't been to a Super Bowl in so many decades, is because they kind of get like one shot at it, and then it's like years before they get another shot at it, because they don't really have like that like young core type of thing that we're always bringing in like the veteran quarterbacks, and then sometimes they work out for a few years, but there's always like an expiration date, um, and you know I think they're set up for for long term success with just coaching, and obviously we don't know what they're going to do with the quarterback position. My opinion of what they should do is probably not what they're going to do. But they've got, Quasey killing it in free agency. He's got to do better in the draft, but you know, tons of cap space. I mean, this could be like the start of something, really good. But hey, doesn't mean we can't go win it in the first crack we get. So let's go do it. Let's go win the Super Bowl this year. Why not? You know what? If the Vikings ever do win a Super Bowl, it's probably gonna be from this kind of like unexpected place. Where they weren't expected to do it. And how sweet would it be to do it when it's these other teams in the division thought it was their year? God, I can't even tell you how much I would love it if we played the Lions in the playoffs and beat them. It would be so sweet. And maybe it'll happen because we are in the playoffs and chasing the North, chasing the 1 seed. Let's go get it.